Okay, so lab assignment. So this is what you guys are going to be working on the rest of the day. And I did bring you candy, so we'll pass that around so you can get a little energy to work on this. But the lab assignment is basically doing an assignment page using Bootstrap. Okay, and I showed you what my page looked like. Okay. And so you're going to create a folder, going to call it CIT228. Inside the folder, you'll do the images in the CSS folder. So you can call it media or images. I don't care which one. Okay? And you'll do a CSS folder. And then you're going to create the assignment page. So Bootstrap 4 has to be used for the styling. And I'm guessing most of you don't know Bootstrap. Okay. So these are the links that I thought would be helpful. And these are the links to W3C sites. And if you guys have ever looked at things there, it's like a page. It's pretty condensed. Okay. So this is going to give you information about the concept of containers. And they automatically include grid view. Okay. How to do typography and colors. How to do buttons, how to do drop downs, how to do a nav bar, how to do navigation buttons. Hey, now, what did I use? I used this template. It's called Scroll, Spy, and Affix. And then I customized it. Okay, so if I click on this link, this is what the template looked like. Okay, and I showed you what my page looked like. So it's pretty obvious that I customized it. Okay, so I'm going to want you guys to customize your pages as well. So I did include links to different website examples and website templates. Okay. And I will pull up my page again. And just so you know, this is a live page. And I guess I don't really care if you guys view it live, if I can find it. Let's see. And yours does not have to look just like mine. Okay. You just have to use Bootstrap 4 for your formatting. Okay. So this is what mine looks like. And these actually link to the different sections in the page. Okay. And so in upcoming weeks, you can see we're going to be creating files and linking into it. And then if we right click and view the page source, in order to pull in Bootstrap, you have to include the CDN. You could actually go to the Bootstrap site and download the files and include those. I usually include a CDN, and you have to include jQuery. Okay, and all this information is at the W3 site. Okay, so you can copy and paste theirs, or if you want to come out here and grab mine, you certainly can copy and paste that part of mine as well. This has to be in there for you guys to use Bootstrap. Okay, and what I did was I kind of used the template, set that up, and then I started putting in overrides because I'm fussy about how my pages look. So I wanted to put in a background image. I wanted to change the colors. And so here you can see I'm overriding navbar. So this is Bootstrap's navbar. This is my override. I added some padding. I changed the background color to black. Okay. I changed the color of the font to white. I changed the font size. I added a border. Okay, so all of that CSS that you guys learned in the 180, you can apply here. Okay. All Bootstrap is, it is a framework, and the way they format is by using classes. Okay, and so if you override things in the class, you can customize it. So that is basically what I'm doing here. I didn't like the way the link looked, so here I changed the color of the link in the nav bar. Okay, I didn't like the way the visited link looked, so I changed the color. Okay, so didn't like hover, changed it. So you guys can change anything you want. So you can make it look however you want it to look. Okay. For those of you that have had trouble with design, Bootstrap will make it 100 times easier for you. Okay. You can just go with the Bootstrap colors. You don't have to override stuff. Okay. You can kind of leave it as is, and it will be responsive and it will work. Okay. So for those of you that have had some issues with that, I think you're going to love you using Bootstrap. Okay. But if you look at my code, you can kind of see how did I get, the image in some of the blocks and not in others? How did I get this clear block and this with color? Okay, you can see that I have IDs, and I did some different formatting based on the IDs. Okay, and then you can kind of look down and you can kind of see how I did all of this code. Do you have to use Scroll Spy and Affix? You guys can use whatever you want, okay, as long as you do it in Bootstrap and it's an assignment page, okay, that's what you need. Does that make sense?
So really all Bootstrap is just a library of pre-made classes?
Yeah, it's basically, all they're doing is they're using classes to create different looks. Like, I liked this one just because it's got, the menu, and that's kind of all pre-done. So that was part of the reason I chose it. And you'll notice that this kind of stays stationary as you scroll. So I liked that. So that was part of the reason I picked this one.
So is there a place that we can go to see it before we get it?
Yes, I did include, well, okay, so this is right at the W3 site. But I did include links to different layouts. So most of them are the try it links. So here's one Bootstrap page. Yep. And part of the reason I did this is, so what I did before I actually created my page is I went in and started customizing the code over here to see if I was going to like it. And then I hit run. And so once I got something, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to like using this. I clicked, I pressed Control and A, Control and C, copy, went into VS Code, pasted. Okay, so I gave you several links to different ones, and you guys may also find, something else that you like better. This is just a very basic navigation bar. Okay, but just kind of keep in mind that whatever you pick, you're going to be using it all semester. So I would pick something that you like, you like how it looks. The Bootstrap 4 website also has templates. Okay, so I'm not sure if I put a link to that, but if you just Google Bootstrap 4, here is their website, and then they've got examples. Okay, and they got all sorts of things that you can download from here.
So it's kind of like WordPress, just not as in-depth.
Well, except for WordPress is created with PHP.
Right.
So this is basically a CSS framework, and it's designed to go with HTML. And a lot of the examples, and this is something that I'm going to want you guys to change, a lot of the Bootstrap examples use div. Div is way overused, okay? So this section is basically a header. So I would use the header tag, okay? That is semantic, and I do want you guys to use the semantic HTML, okay? Instead of just overusing div. Okay, because it's ridiculous how overused that is. And if you look at my source code, you'll notice that I used the semantic tags because that is technically correct. Okay, I would only use a div if maybe I was inside a section or an article and I wanted a true division in the section or article, because that's what div stands for. Okay. But like where it's got class, navbar expand small, BG dark, navbar dark, that's all Bootstrap. So navbar is basically how you're getting the navigation bar. The expand small, I believe, is your grid view. They have medium and large as well. BG dark, navbar dark is just their coloring.
So when you download it, that would be put into your CSS automatically? Or
Yes, so if you do Control A and Control C to copy it, it will copy all of that. And then if there is something you don't like or that you want to change, you have to figure out which one of these classes applied it. And then there are other colors that you can use. Okay, so you don't have to use BG dark. You can use a different color, or if you want to do your own custom color, that is when you override the class. So if you look at my source code, you'll notice that when possible, I would use Bootstrap's class, but if I wanted to use my own custom color, and I'm kind of into colors, so there were several times where I wanted my own custom color, I overrode the class. So if we look at my source code, and so every time up here in this internal style sheet where you see a dot in front of something, that's a class I've overridden. Okay, and then down here you can see I have header, I have nav. I did keep div here because it made sense to have it there, okay? Because I've already used header and nav. Then I've got article. You can see that I did add a little styling here because I did not like where some of this was locating by default. So when I put styles in, it is to tweak things and change it so that I like how it looks. Okay, and so as you guys are going through this assignment, if there is something that you want to change and you're not sure how to change it, then you just need to ask and I'll help you. Okay, you know, whether you do an internal style or an inline style, okay, how you change it depends on what you want to change. Okay, but you can see there's classes in almost all of these. And you'll notice this is large 8. So this gets into that whole grid view thing. Remember, grid view just separates into 12 columns. Okay, so you kind of look through here. And then I added footer. So I didn't really keep their divs because they had divs all over the place. So I basically used article and section. Okay, so does that make sense what you guys are going to be working on? All right, so anytime that you spend learning Bootstrap, and like I said, I'm going to have you guys kind of take off with this because you know CSS and you know classes. And it's just a matter of learning Bootstrap's classes. Okay. Whatever amount of time you spend on this, write up a little summary of what you did and throw it in the Dropbox up here, and you can knock off this PD section. Okay. You know, I did include a link to different things, but basically, you know, if you guys are spending, I think down here, if you end up spending, you know, 4 or 5 hours, it's got 20 points, 5 to 6 hours. So basically, if you do 5 hours, I'm going to bump you up to 30 points. Okay. I'm not going to be chintzy. Okay. So however much time you spend on Bootstrap, record that, okay? Put it in the Dropbox. You'll get those points done pretty quickly. Because the most I can give you is 50 points in that section. Okay, other things you get points for, industry night out, all that kind of fun stuff. What?
Hopefully we'll have some this semester.
Yeah,
2 last semester.
I know. So,
Hopefully I'm not working those days.
well, that's why you guys are going to be using Bootstrap quite a bit in here. For this first assignment, I'm not specifying, how to use it or which one to do. But in future assignments, just so that you get more exposure, we are going to be using specific sections of Bootstrap, just so you can learn it. Okay. You guys have any questions? All righty. So the rest of today, we are going to have a lab for you guys to work on this. I will be posting the video